7 games last night. All 7 games last night, Void Spirit ended up banned in the first phase. This is the first time that he's made it through the first phase banning, and he gets picked up here by Vici. So now the question is this Ori on the Void Spirit, which I'd be super hyped about. I mean, I love me some Ori madness, and to see him on a newer hero like Void Spirit will definitely be interesting. And then you've got the Lich, which I talked about yesterday and I'll continue to talk about today. A very sought after support right now. I think he really brings a lot to the table in lane harassment, as well as really allowing and enabling heroes to play maybe a little bit more aggressively with that Frost Shield. But we see Liches, and this should be DY on the Lich here for Vici Gaming, where I could definitely see him going in and being heavily aggressive and, you know, using that Frost Blast. I believe it's like a 2-1 build to start off in your first 3 levels. It's 2 into the Frost Blast, 1 into the Frost Shield. And, you know, you play that lane pretty aggressively. So, you know, against this Shadow Demon and the Death Prophet, we'll see how IG Vitality play it, as they've got their mid and potentially their 5 on the Shadow Demon, which should be played by Dota.
Vici Gaming's turn to take.
They ban out the Faceless Void to get the Oracle out of there, so the save is gone from the Oracle. Lina gets picked up by IG Vitality, but you've already got the Death Prophet, so this makes me wonder, and I know I did see earlier this morning, and I was right after Chinese Dota. I was trying to go to bed, but I did see a 4-position or 5-position Death Prophet in the CIS region.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
It was weird, and it didn't work out. I think they pushed well with it, and then they took a poor fight. And I think it was Flight of Moon that ended up blowing that game. Sand King out for Beyond for IG Vitality, so they've got that off lane Sand King. Again, I wonder if this is going to be a 4 Lina, 5 Shadow Demon, or, you know, with a 2 Death Prophet, 3 Sand King.
Radiant team back.
And pick up the Pangolier, and now they go into the Rubik. So, off lane Pango. Another hero that in other regions we see in different positions. I think Pango we've seen, you know, prior to tonight in the 4. I know Immersion likes to play that in the 4 for Team Spirit.
5 seconds remaining. Vici Gaming's turn to ban.
So, Rubik picked up here for Vici. That's going to be PYW on the Rubik. They'll ban out the Gyrocopter. Certainly a paparazzi favorite there with the Gyro. You've got your lockdown of Sinister Gaze, as well as, you know, having the Aether Remnant
10 seconds
and the Telekinesis. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have Vici get one more stun. Right now for IG Vitality, Disruption, Light Strike Array, as well as the Burrow Strike coming through. They need a safe laner, unless, of course, they go to the safe lane Death Prophet, but I doubt it.
Vici Gaming's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
So Slark gets banned, and they go to the Morphling. Okay, so Eurus on the Morphling. No major surprise there. Definitely a hero he is very comfortable with.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Let's see. IG Vitality. They go
Choose your hero.
Drow. So Drow's certainly not a hero that you see too much these days, but it gives you that silence to work with. Hard hitter early on. Dust has definitely been the hero so far for IG Vitality. Just in the most recent series that they've been involved in. I know they were looking at China Pro Development League, or not Pro Development League, CDA. It was the Chinese Dota 2 Pro Association. Yeah, they were in the qualifiers for that. They actually got eliminated by Starluck Fly in that. They lost 2-1. And then Starluck got 2-0'd by Sparking Arrow Gaming. And then CDC had 2 chances to qualify with Ame, and they blew it. They got 2-0'd by Ocean and 2-1 by SAG. And they won the first game, so I don't know what that really says about iG.V right now, but I certainly do believe in these players from time to time. I think they're a very good group of players that have played together long enough. They've got that chemistry to work with. Do I think it's enough to beat Vici? Probably not, but you would have caught me saying the same thing if I didn't say the same thing when I think I was broadcasting the iG.V Vici series during the group stage of this.
Prepare for battle.
With my thanks.
You always get that load into the game lag. So we'll see Ori here on the Void Spirit, Eurus on the Morphling. PYW will in fact be on the Rubik. You've also got Yang on the Pangolier, and then Lich played by DY. Swashbuckle onto the low ground. LSA came in with a couple of right clicks coming through from 4 heroes here on the side of iG.V. They aren't able to get the kill on Yang. He'll back off.
30 seconds to battle.
He's got time here to go back and heal up. Won't be by the bounty runes, but he should be okay otherwise. Just to come back in a lane. He takes a little bit of regen and will walk his way all the way towards bottom. So now the question becomes, can they keep this Drow alive? You know, how much of their early game relies on the Drow? They're going to be using this early damage from Drow, as well as the Death Prophet once Butterfly Effect hits level 6 to kind of play a high-paced game, it seems like. Now, Lina is the 4 position, I believe. Is Dogfights in the 4 or the 5? Doesn't quite say. But I believe Dodo is their 5 position. So Shadow Poison coming out on a Yang. We'll take a look over mid at Ori. Ori against Butterfly Effect here. Void Spirit up against the Death Prophet. We'll see how Ori fares on this Void Spirit. Now hitting that level 2. We'll have the Aether Remnant to work with. And I'm wondering if we see rotations from, say, PYW to come over mid to help out this Void Spirit. I don't think it's going to be DY. So far right now, he's just using that Frost Blast to harass this Sand King. just throwing as many right clicks as he can, trying to open up the lane here for Eurus. Dogfights. For right now, he's got the LSA. You've got Beyond, who's got the Burrow Strike to follow it up. So, definitely some lockdown here in the off lane for iG.V if maybe Vici get a little bit too ahead of themselves and find themselves outstretched a bit too far. And this is exactly what I mean. Burrow Strike comes in with the LSA. The right click damage is big from dogfights, and DY with the right clicks coming in from Beyond. And, you know, dealing with that caustic finale. Honestly, put some pressure on to that Lich and forces him to move back and salve up, and that's what the courier was bringing, was that flask. So DY back into the lane, has himself a little bit more mana. LSA misses, and the Frost Blasts continue here from the Lich. And level 2, it depends on, I would say, how they want to play, but I would assume it's straight into the Frost Shield anyway, and it will be. So they slow up Beyond. He already used the Burrow Strike. The right click damage coming in from the Morphling is heavy, but he's high into the Agi, and the right clicks are really felt from dogfights when that LSA hits on both of them. So, still sitting even here so far. DY will get that level 3, go back into the Frostblast level 2. Meanwhile, you've got Dogfights, who does have the Light Strike Array as well as the Fiery Soul. From the Ulinas I've been watching, it's been 1-1-1. And actually, the Sand Kings, for the most part, from what I had seen, were going more into Sandstorm than Caustic Finale. I saw a 2-2 build to start the other day on Sand King.
Structures are fortified. When you play with Lena,
So it's a different build here for the SK on the side of IG Vitality here for Beyond. Take a look over mid. Aether Remnant locks up Butterfly Effect for a second. There was definitely a time where Butterfly Effect, you know, when there was a time when we saw Butterfly Effect and it felt like there was the Butterfly Effect. He was only good when he played the TA, and that was the Butterfly Effect. Yeah, you draft me TA as First Blood's here for Yang bottom, and the Butterfly Effect goes off, and he does well, but at least for the moment, Dust has kind of carried Butterfly Effect a little bit better than, or a little bit differently than it's been in the past, and we see Butterfly Effect die over towards mid, and it's not the Rubik who makes his way over there, but in fact the Lich of DY that makes the rotation all the way over, but they know that the Lich is out of lane. They pressure Eurus under the tier 1 tower. They won't be able to do anything more to him than put him down to about half health. And all of a sudden, you know, things starting to look good here for Vici all over. Get a couple of kills here and there, and you know, things are okay. The CS certainly could be better. You've got 25 and 11 for Beyond. Eurus playing a bit more passively in this lane, getting what he can and not really putting himself in harm's way. Again, if you go too far into that Agi and you get caught out, Light Strike Array coming in as well as a Burrow Strike. They've got the lockdown combo to put you in a potentially bad spot, especially if DY is unavailable in lane and he finally TPs back. So, word placed here by Dogfights. Get some vision on the attempt at a pull. Is successful.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Shadow Poison on new Yang. Couple of stacks. Gets the Disruption. Courier coming over. That Courier will be killed. He does get the Javelin. Meanwhile, DY and Yang fall. Dogfights is dead towards top to DY, and they won't commit to go for Beyond. So, Beyond gets pushed out of lane, and will be given the salve. Tries to heal up and stay nearby as now Eurus over to level 5. Dogfight sitting level 3. LSA comes in, already morphing into the strength, so won't really feel the damage from that one. But now goes back into the Agi, looks over at Dogfight, stun hits again. They've got Beyond to follow this up with the Burrow Strike if Eurus gets too comfortable within the Agi, but split about evenly. Now the Burrow Strike and the LSA hit once again. Eurus taking a bit of harassment, stands still for a moment, and well, really can sustain through this. Aether Remnant comes in and locks Butterfly Effect down for a moment. Ori now hitting that level 6. Astral Step forward. Crypt Swarm comes in onto Ori. Has another one ready in the chamber. And see if Ori tries to go for this. He has one more charge within the bottle and continues to throw out that Resonant Pulse. Butterfly Effect feeling it a little bit. Astral Step across the creeps, getting a little bit of CS from that. Now the Spirit Siphon and the Exorcism committed, but they've got the Aether Remnant, so what does Butterfly Effect really get from this Exorcism now other than a disengage? Telekinesis, Aether Remnant with the Astral Step, and Butterfly Effect dead a second time. DY towards top, he'll end up dead to dogfights. But this is the second time that Death Prophet has died. And certainly not the spot that you want to be in if you're IG Vitality. Swashbuckle hits on the dust. You can see the kind of damage that it does, especially with that early javelin. It's just Yang down here. Dust level 7, Yang level 5. 3 into the Swashbuckle as well as 2 into the Lucky Shot. Void Spirit, yeah, he is left mid here for PYW to get some experience. Want him to get his level 6. Meanwhile, bottom, DY as well as Ori, they smoke up. They do want to go for this Drow. They waltz their way all the way over. Won't find anything just yet. Instead finish the outpost. So, Networth's still sitting really close here. Get the trusty shovel dropped, Arcane Ring for the Drow. Drow going into that early Yasha. Meanwhile, towards top, Eurus, he's continuing to farm pretty much unscathed. His CS isn't amazing at 31 and 5, but he's survived, and the pressure that's come in, the solo experience that he's got, not the worst feeling in the world. You get a couple of kills over here top, and they're going to commit to try and go in onto Eurus, but he gets back in behind the tier 1 tower with 4 heroes committed to this. Disruption is out, but Eurus unfazed. Will steal Burrow Strike. They've got the Telekinesis. Dogfight's in trouble. Burrow Strike comes in. They get the kill here onto Dogfight's. Epicenter committed from beyond. But this doesn't catch up to PYW. I'm really shocked. Exorcism gets committed, and they will look to get this kill here on a PYW who doesn't get far enough away with the Burrow Strike that he had stolen. But if they get this tower, maybe it's worth it. However, it's certainly going to be difficult. Rolling Thunder comes in, starts to disrupt this team fight. DY goes down. Yang now needs to leave. This is a team fight without the Morphling and without the Void Spirit, so no reason to stay and get yourself killed.
Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified.
Even at 5, they get the top tier 1. Turns into a 1,000 net worth lead just about here for IG Vitality. Yang working with that Javelin early and boots. Starting to feel the Swashbuckle. It's a big power spike when you pick up that Javelin. We saw it over bottom when he had hit the Drow a couple of times, where it brought Dust quickly down to about half health.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
See that Ori continuing to farm pretty well. Death Prophet ahead by about 800 gold. As the regen rune inside that bottle, going into the Yules first to try and add to that lockdown potential here for Vici. Morphling first item Lincolns. Try to protect himself
Dire's middle tower is
from
under
the
attack.
potential of a disruption or a Laguna Blade. Just trying to become a bit more survivable.
Regeneration.
DY over by Yang. They've got the Shadow Demon nearby.
Radiant are
So
scattered.
moves forward, swashbuckle away from Yang. Inside the trees is the Drow, who just about has this Yasha finished up.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Got Astral Step, as well as still the stolen Burrows right
My time.
here for PYW. How quickly Dodo fell in that exchange, and now they're going to all TP towards bottom.
Dire's middle
I
tower.
believe the call is that they want to go in on to Beyond. Astral Step, Resonant Pulse, Beyond. They want to get him out of the Sandstorm, and that's exactly what they do. Eurus will turn into Beyond. Waveform forward, Burrow Strike lands. Do they have the damage? They've got the 8th Remnant to lock him down. Beyond now continuing to run. Dogfight's also dead to Yang near mid, and it's 2 kills there for Vici.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Vici looking good up to this point. Up in kills. They haven't really led in net worth or anything. I think things are kind of staying the way that Vici would have hoped. With this lineup from IG Vitality, more looking to play aggressively and take these objectives. I would say just about every time Exorcism is off cooldown to try and make an aggressive play towards a tower or put some pressure on, and that's not really something that they've accomplished just about 15 minutes into the game. So the pace of the game, I think, benefits Vici right now. We'll see what they can do coming into this mid game. Only 13 kills for the moment. Usually the games start to break out during the mid-game portion for these Chinese games. Not as aggressive in the early games, but there are the exceptions, like yesterday when we saw Slark involved in 8 kills in about 6 minutes or so. Pupil's Gift, Nether Shawl. We're getting the kill there on the Shadow Demon bottom. Let's take a look at these neutral items. They've got themselves the Philosopher Stone that'll be put on a Dogfights. Nether Shawl and Pupil's Gift still held within the stash. Imp Claw for the side of Vici. We'll see if anybody grabs that for them. And it looks like at least Ori does want to take it. He's just got the trusty shovel for now.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Amplify
under
my
attack.
impact.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So smoke on the 3 of these heroes from the side of iG.V. They pressure the tier 2 tower over bottom. They've got the double damage popped on Ori. Is this the fight you really want to take? Beyond trying to wrap around and come from behind to get that lockdown out. Dogfights comes through. They've got the silence out onto PYW as well as the slow from Dodo. telekinesis out on the Shadow Demon. They'll get themselves at least one. Now they look over for Ori. Astral Step, another one, but the Blink stays with him. Great job by Beyond. But Ori still surviving, has the Yules, and has the escape. A lot of commitment there from IG Vitality. Epicenter now coming through mid. Burrow Strike hits onto Eurus, and with the Laguna Blade, they'll get the kill. This is exactly why they're looking for that Lincoln Sphere on the Morphling. Take out Eurus. And they do commit a lot to it. They get the Epicenter, the Laguna Blade, and now the Exorcism out from iG.V. That does get them the Tier 1 mid, but I kind of feel like they could have got that without the Exorcism commitment.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Extra step forward. Steals the Dragon Slave, Aether Remnant, and the kill. Hood picked up here by Yang. He's also got that mech. See if he finishes off the Guardian Greaves soon. You're still trying to finish off this Lincoln Sphere, just 700 gold away from completing. So let's see if they can open up some space for Eurus. They've got the Chain Frost bouncing around as well as the Astral Step coming forward, but there's the disruption onto the Drow Ranger. The Burrow Strike hits onto Ori. Ori in trouble. The Crypt Swarm comes in. They'll get the kill onto the Void Spirit. Now they'll look for more. Yang now running with the Swashbuckle through towards the low ground, but the silence hits on both DY as well as Yang. Still giving chase. Butterfly Effect does have that Yules to lock down these Vici heroes, and he will choose Yang. The Gust does not hit on the Yang. He'll be able to roll Thunder out of here. And it's the stolen Burrow Strike that helps PYW escape. All they get is the Void Spirit.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But really not much committed there for IG Vitality. All just in the name of making space here for Eurus. Gust comes in on a DY. Dodo coming through with the Demonic Purge as well as the Soul Catcher. Trying to get this kill on a DY with the Shadow Poison. Sinister Gaze keeps him close and might be close enough where Ori and Yang can combine for this kill. Aether Remnant gets it, the LSA just too late. So PYW meanwhile going into the Aether Lens. You've got Void Spirit going for the Ags, which I love the new Ags here for Void Spirit. The Resonant Pulse giving a 2-second silence as well as having 2 charges feels like it can be really effective. Sometimes you'll see like the Ags into the Radiance for Void Spirit. I don't know if Radiance afterwards is my favorite call, but I don't play for the big bucks, so not my judgment to make. Let's finish the pipe on Yang next, and that's only a couple hundred gold away. Meanwhile, we haven't really taken a look at this Drow, but they go after Eurus. Got the Soul Frost arrows coming through. Eurus gets to the high ground. Sandstorm used by Beyond just to deter Vici from maybe trying to double back into this fight. He's got his Blink Dagger as well as the Hood. Aether Lens here for Alina, and with that extra cast range, can be really effective from quite a range away.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Exorcism committed to go for this Roche. Let's see if they can grab it. Vici nowhere nearby, so it should be theirs to take. Got the Lincolns. It will be the E-Blade next for Eurus as he pressures the tier 2 over bottom. Should be able to get the tower. You know, this is free real estate right now for Vici.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Over mid, Aether Remnant taunts up Beyond. Now he's on the run, but they've got 3 heroes here with the Sinister Gaze coming in onto Beyond, as well as the Chain Frost. A little bit of, I'd say, an overcommitment, but he's very tanky, so to get that kill, I think is fine. 100 seconds, not the worst cooldown timing, especially in a more conservative lineup right now from Vici, where they are, of course, waiting for Eurus to finish off that E-Blade. So, take a look. Rolling Thunder. Shield crash down on a Dodo, hits it. Lucky shot procs, 1, 2, 3. Takes Dodo out of the fight. Now it's 13-9 in favor of Vici as they take the tier 1 tower over top as well. So things starting to go exceedingly well here for Vici over IG Vitality. Yet another kill here on the dogfights. They steal the LSA, adding to that potential lockdown. Astro step forward as well as the Aether Remnant down. They've got the silence out on the Void Spirit. Burrow Strike hits, but the telekinesis comes through from PYW. Ori now on the run. Doesn't have any charges available in the Resonant Pulse. PYW also sitting quite low. He's got that Aether Lens. Doesn't have his cast range, though. That's not till level 15 for him. And right now sitting at level 13. Void Spirit, Aether Remnant. Gets the silence on a Butterfly Effect, forces the BKB. That is a terrible feeling when your 10-second BKB is forced out so easily. Meanwhile, Yang, silence, trying to run. Does he have a last-second swashbuckle? Yes, he does! Oh my. They try to commit, they try to get the kill, but just as that silence wears off, they've got Swashbuckle on Yang to make some space. This really has been, the pace of the game that Vici want. They don't want to play anything too clash heavy at the moment. They're still waiting for a couple of items here. They've got the Guardian Greaves finished off on Yang. They want this E-Blade, which they finally get delivered here to Eurus. So finishing off some items that I think will make them more likely to fight, especially now with the pressure coming in onto the tier 2 Butterfly Effect commits that Exorcism. Got that BKB available once again. The Aether Remnant comes through onto the Shadow Demon. The Burrow Strike hits on the Void Spirit. They don't get the kill just yet with the Disruption, saving the Shadow Demon's life. Now the Euls from Butterfly Effect out onto the Void Spirit. The Chain Frost bouncing around. The BKB is going to be popped by Butterfly Effect. They still get Ori away with the Dissimulate and the jump with the Astral Step. Aether Remnant doesn't hit on the Butterfly Effect, who no longer has that BKB. Eurus coming over, looking to get the kill onto the Death Prophet, who takes out PYW. It's a 2-over-1 so far. They're fighting in the Exorcism. They don't care about the Ghost Friends. Butterfly Effect now gets the Ghost back to full health, but they'll go through his HP very quickly. Once again, double kill here for Eurus, a 3-for-1 in the favor of Vici, and a 5,000 net worth lead.
Radiant are scanning.
So IG Vitality, well, they tried to put the pressure on and come out successfully, but a good job there by Ori, a great job by PYW2 getting the Death Prophet to kind of chase into the base and get dragged in a way to a bad spot. One very beneficial for Vici. Picked up for the Drow. Ori, 1,000 gold away from finishing off this Desolator. Burrow Strike comes in, I believe from Eurus actually, because he's morphed into the Sand King. They get the kill there on a Beyond. Take out the Sand King for 42 seconds. He does have buyback, but the pressure is being felt by Vici now as they start to posture through mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So Eurus will take care of the tier 2 tower. The rest of Vici pressuring forward. Frost Shield on Ori. They'll look over at Butterfly Effect, who's in a lot of trouble. The Astral Step comes in. They've got the Sinister Gaze, as well as the Silence coming out from Ori with that Resonant Pulse. They will lose Yang over top, but it doesn't matter. They got the kill to the Death Prophet. That means no Death Prophet for a minute. No buyback. Eurus moving forward. The E-Blade hits, as well as the Adaptive Strike. They won't get the kill there onto the Shadow Demon, but finally PYW with the Dragon's Wave will finish him off. They get the kill there on a Diwa. He comes in a little bit too deep and gets deleted, really, by Dust on this Drow, and they force the buyback of the Shadow Demon. They don't get the tier 3 in either the mid or the bottom lane, but for Vici, I would say they're happy with the buyback coming in and another kill there on the Death Prophet. $20-12 in favor of Vici, mounting up a 9,000 net worth lead as well. Void Spirit about to finish off that Desolator. BKB soon for Eurus. Yang, he's got the pipe. He's got the Guardian Greaves. Very utility heavy on this Pangolier. Now going into the Vlads. And PYW finally hits that level 15, so he's got the extra cast range ready to go. With the Aether Lens, I mean, Crypt Swarm hits from a distance. He's got Telekinesis from a huge distance away as well. And that's with the Arcane Supremacy level 4. The Spell Amp. Some of these spells that Rubik throws back come with that disgusting amp. And I know maybe some people don't think 25% is that much, but you can certainly feel it, especially when you're lifted up for what feels to be forever. Would certainly like the Telescope for Vici. They've got the Telescope on the Shadow Demon. That will give the extra aura cast range of another 125, so dogfights can Light Strike Array from such a distance out. Blink Burrow Strike doesn't actually hit on the Eurus, but they go up for DY. They've got the Laguna Blade. DY survives through this, gets the Chain Frost down as well as the Sinister Gaze. Taking a lot of damage here from the rest of the side of iG.V, but they get the kill there onto the Shadow Demon as well as the Drow. Now they look over at Dogfights. They'll take themselves a third. Meanwhile, on the other side of this fight, Exorcism committed. PYW, he had stolen Sandstorm, and the BKB committed from Butterfly Effect just to TP away as Exorcism was used. Beyond TP's out as well. The 3 heroes that dropped here for IG Vitality, though, they don't have buyback, and all they got for it was a Lich. So back to the high ground, Vici go. That's 12,000 net worth lead. That is really problematic here for IG Vitality. The Aether Remnant comes through as well as the Astral Step and the Burrow Strike from the Morphing Eurus Sand King. Or the morphed into the Sand King, Morphling Eurus. You guys knew what I meant. Sentence structure isn't exactly that easy. So look at the bottom set of racks as well as the mid set of racks. Sand King up in 17. Vici, they look to retreat, potentially just to go to furthest Roche and secure the victory with an Aegis in their hands.
Arms for the dead.
Just about a 20,000 net worth lead here for the side of Vici over IG Vitality, which, to be quite honest, it's not, the biggest surprise here to see Vici up by so much. They don't actually end up going into Roche as it's not up for another 5 seconds. iG.V are starting to posture their way forward to the Roche pit. Into the Sandstorm they'll go, but they've got the Sentry Ward down. So Yang looking ready to go after this Sand King. He thinks he's okay. Rolling Thunder gets committed beyond. He blinks away, but Yang coming all the way in. The Astral Step comes across. They got the BKB pop by Dust. Now the right click's coming through onto Yang. It's not going to be enough. They get the kill on a Dodo. The Astral Step out now, but he actually turns his attention over to Beyond. They get the kill on a Dogfights. That's going to be 2 dead on the side of IG Vitality. They look over at Butterfly Effect, who pop the Exorcism as well as the BKB. So did Eurus. Goes up to Dust. His BKB's on cooldown. They get the kill on a Beyond. Now they look over at this Drow, who's dead to Eurus. Thought it might have been the Astral Step. The Epicenter charged up. Beyond trying to get in on this one. The Barrel Strike hits on both Yang as well as Ori. Is the damage there to finish either of them off? Yang gets the Swashbuckle away, ends up surviving. The Spirit Siphon's out on Ori. The Astral Step once again slows up the heroes, and they get the stun on a Beyond. They don't kill off anybody on the side of Vici. They throw back the Laguna Blade coming in from PYW. The Burst Strike from Eurus doesn't hit on anybody, but the Astral Step across onto two of these heroes. They get the kill on a Beyond. The Disruption saving this Death Prophet for a second longer, but once he dies, GG is called. Vici Gaming take game 1, 30-13. And they will take out Dogfights before they go. So first game going the way of Vici. Pretty easily. I think the early game was not as bad as people would have thought. It was the pacing of the game that they were looking for early on. The pacing that they got. Ori got to 11-1-13. Eurus 9-1-7. It went the way that I thought that they wanted it to go. They also got the telescope on PYW. That with the Aether Lens and the extra cast range means everything from such a distance from this Rubik. And Vici take game 1. We'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. I'm your caster Bkop at Bkop92 on Twitter. Follow me to know when I'm casting next. We've got more Chinese Pro League coming at you today with 3 BO3s and then a BO3 and a BO5 tomorrow. And then Chinese Pro Association also starts tomorrow as well. And Beyond the Summit will be on that as well. As well. So we'll be back. Stay right there. And hope you enjoy.